Two new weapons recently came out for Warframe, and of the two, the Baza is definitely the much more interesting one. It's a high crit submachine gun, and it has two unique features I want to touch on. First, this thing has very low recoil, which I like. It's very different. Unlike the Ricotta, which is going to trigger someone's epilepsy, this one's going to remain pretty level. The second, this is a silent weapon, which I think is freaking fantastic because now this gives us something different besides bows in spy missions. So, I said it's kind of like the Ricotta, and I'm going to show you why real quick. So Prismatic Ricotta, and you see crit-wise, it's very similar. It's like a little less crit-wise, but does a little less damage per bullet, but also fires much faster. The biggest thing, and this is the one drawback of this weapon. Actually, there's two. I'm gonna get on the second one in a bit. Is the first is its magazine size is only 40 compared to 120, which kind of sucks, but it does have a much faster reload time of 1.4. The other thing is, this thing has very early fall off, kind of like a shotgun. So you kind of have to be up close. Well, if you're stealth, you're not going to have as much of a problem with it. If you're doing, high-end missions later on, yeah, you're going to have to kind of get up close, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. And let me show you why. I'm going to take the Ricotta in first, and I'm just going to do a level 150 Corrupted Heavy Gunner, which we know what's going to happen. It's going to shred shit. So, oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, and if you held this thing in real life, your hands would be absolutely numb right now. So it takes, less than one full clip to go through. This one, it's going to take more because, hey, it holds 1/3 of the bullets. So, not much of a surprise there. The biggest thing is, you're just going to have to get used to the fact that there's no recoil. Well, next to no recoil. It's very low. There's 2. 3. It's going to take a little more than 3. There's times it's actually done it a little less than 3, but that's about the average. So, damage-wise, it's actually very comparable to the Prismatic Ricotta, which is really cool. The Prismatic Ricotta is one of my favorite primaries in the game. Let me show you what I put in this thing. Well, for one, I had to put 4 Forma into it. It comes with a V, so you can throw your Serration on there. I modded for crit, so Point Strike, Vital Sense. Put Hammer Shot on here, and that'll get you up to 7.8 multiplier, which is great. Now, for my Elemental, I opted for the status one versus the straight element because it actually ends up doing a little more damage because it boosts the status up. The other thing that it does, I wanted it to do was this new one that came out, the 100 Munitions, which came out with that last event, which when you hit a crit, it's going to apply slash. That's pretty cool because this thing crits 65% of the time, so it's pretty good. If you don't have that, if you missed out on that, you could throw Wildfire on here. It's going to give you a little more in the magazine, like 8 more rounds, and more damage because of the heat. And you could also use Tainted Magazine, which is going to, boost that magazine size up a lot, but it's going to take away the one advantage that it does have over a lot of other weapons, and the fact that you're not going to reload as fast. And it has the word taint. Do you want something with taint in that? Probably not. You could also use the mod no one uses, which is Magazine Warp. Or just throw on another damage. Either way, I like this weapon. It's pretty good. And I'm not going to say it's going to be my go-to for everything, but it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to use a lot more of, especially in spy missions. It's, not the best looking weapon. I still think it looks alright, and especially if you if you color it, because the default colors are kind of shitty. So play around with it. I think you're gonna like this thing, and that's the Baza.